All right, folks, welcome to CRT Secrets, which is the 2025 public free mentorship. You don't have to pay me any money for this. All you have to do is pay me with your time and your focus. All right, so put aside whatever you have in your hand and pay full attention. If you are an old student who's been watching for a while, for the past 1-2 years, then you know that you should always be seeking improvement, always be hungry, and this will be a good supplement to reinforce whatever knowledge you already have, right? Because revision solidifies your existing knowledge. And if you're a new student, new follower, then welcome. And I strongly urge you to unlearn everything you know. Right, so clear your mind of all the 10,000 ICT models you've been learning, of all the SMC terms, of all the Elliott waves, of all the Wyckoff harmonics, supply and demand, African order blocks, support and resistance. Remove all that nonsense. Erase it from your mind. And yes, it is nonsense. Those are harsh words, but it's the truth. Right? So erase all of that from your mind and enter this series with a fresh perspective. Excuse me. Now, part number 1 is going to be one entry model for life, which is the famous model number 1. And it is a CRT-based model, right? Now, CRT has gained a lot of traction in the past year and a half, 2 years. And along with the traction, attention seekers come along, right? So whenever there's something, whenever someone gains clout or fame or attention, then usually with that, there come some bottom feeders, some grifters who come along and try and get some of the spotlight. And that happened here too, right? So you'll see people on social media claiming that CRT originates from whatever, the Strat, that's a famous one, right? Pin bar, forever model, next day. There's a long list of absolute garbage which people claim CRT originates from. CRT is an entire system, right? CRT and turtle soup. It's an entire system I created. I've watched and wasted my life. I've wasted thousands of hours of my life reading every single trading book under the sun, hopping from system to system, losing an unheavenly amount of money, right? Trying to learn, trying to figure out the truth behind these charts, what actually works. And the conclusion was, right, the question I was asking during my endeavors to discover the truth about price and time and price, was, what do I actually need to know to make money from trading? And what's the no nonsense, no bullshit trading system that exists, which I can simply learn to understand how these charts actually move, what's happening here, why is it going up and down, or up and down, why, right? So a curious mind I had, and after years and years of slaving away and some secret meetings. Eventually, I was guided towards and taught, right, because there is an element of CRT which was taught to me. But the conclusion I made and I invented was CRT and turtle soup. It's an entire system. It's not one pattern. It's not the candles with an SMT or what. It's an entire trading system. CRT is not a model. CRT is the charts. Right? And anyone who you see claiming that that CRT originates from them, right? Anyone who tries to take credit for CRT and narrows it down to a model or a pattern, they are simply ignorant and lying, right? Or they are misinformed. So they're either lying by omission or lying by ignorance. Right, so don't take them seriously. And it's a good way to filter out people who are actually being intellectually honest about the origin of CRT versus people who are trying to grift their way into my fame and my clout, which I'm used to by now. Just to make sure everything's clear, just to put it on the record, CRT originates from nowhere, not even ICT. Yes, I learned there was a portion of my trading journey where I learned exclusively from ICT, and he was a large part in my trading journey. But CRT is something completely new. It's the evolution of the charts, and if you don't see it yet, then study a bit more. And if you're genuinely seeking the truth, then you will see it through the light I have shed on CRT. Right? That's a little mini rant I had to get out of the way, because I've seen too much bullshit on my timeline about CRT and the origin of CRT. And I'll leave you this about this topic, and we close and go to the technicals. CRT 2 years ago was invisible on social media, right? 2-3 years ago. Before I joined social media, the best any trader or influencer or mentor was talking about was at most a market structure shift or an order block or an FVG, right? Nobody knew the science of trading specific candles. Nobody. And if you don't believe me, then go ahead and look for yourself and verify. I know I have a lot of fans who trust me blindly, right? But I always say trust, but verify. Go ahead, look at the timelines, past 2-3 years. Before I came, there was not a single chart talking about CRT or candles in specific. After I came, all of a sudden, everyone suspiciously and suddenly has my markings on their charts. Right, so it's fine. But I am obligated to clarify in the name of intellectual integrity and responsibility and historical responsibility, right? Because this is part of trading history, CRT and turtle soup. And me, I'm a massive part of trading history, and this has to be treated with intellectual honesty and integrity. CRT has no other origin. Anyone who claims they created CRT or influenced the creation of CRT are lying to you. They're deceiving you. They're nothing more than a bunch of charlatans. All right? Now that we have that out of the way, excuse my rant, but this is, let's put that aside and get straight into model number 1, right? So model number one is basically, what is it? It's you have an old high, right? And it really is one of the simplest, highest risk to reward models that exist today. Right, so it for a high, and then you stab again into the old high. You close above the candle, the thick, up-close candle, which stabbed into the old high. You close below it, excuse me. And then that's the trigger you use to enter a short or a sell. Stop loss up here. And then you target the lows one by one. Right? That's bearish model number one. And vice versa. Right? You have an old low. You stab into the old low with a thick, and this is a key part of model number one, which I see a lot of you on social media, right? Because I watch all of you. All of my students from the very first day, which is around 2-3 years ago. I'm a busy man, right? I try and keep tabs on, especially those who tag me consistently or are more active on social media. I try and keep tabs on how they're doing, right? And what I see in general, of course, there is 100,000 of you more, right? So it's getting difficult to control all of you, but I still try and keep an eye on all of you, right? And the mistake I see you all make usually is you don't pick the thick up close candles or the thick down close candles, right? You're not selective, basically. What I'm saying is you're not selective about the trades you take, right? You just take any random trades for the sake of taking a trade, and you lose, and you blame the system. The system is never wrong. The system has been devised in tens of thousands of hours of trading perfection, right? The system is as perfect as it can. It's perfect. And there will never be a system more complete than CRT and turtle soup, ever. And this video, if you're watching this in the next 10, 20, 30, 50 years, if YouTube exists, right? Or if you're watching it leaked somewhere, or if you download it to a hard drive and you're watching it there, then it's a challenge to you as well, is to check this video out and this system out in 30 years. And even by then, it is impossible that there is a better system, a more precise system, a more complete system created for trading. Why? Why am I so confident about there never being a chance of being a better system ever? Because this system comes straight from the market makers. And as long as the markets are tradable by you and me and the banks and the institutions, right? The banks and the institutions, they're not smart money, right? They are not the market makers, contrary to popular belief, right? So as long as these markets are available to us to trade, then it's controlled by the market makers, smart money, right? And the market makers use CRT. The markets run based on CRT and turtle soup, highs and lows. As long as there's highs and lows on the charts, and it's a question I get asked a lot, right? It's, when is this going to stop working? I'm afraid I'm going to spend so much time learning and it's going to... No. As long as there's highs and lows on the charts, it's going to work. As long as there's candles on the charts, it's going to work. As long as you can buy or sell, it's going to work, right? So be selective about your setups. Don't just pick, don't force trades. The best trades usually they come to you. They present themselves to you. Right? So you have a bullish model number one, and you have a bearish model number one. Right? High, stab into the old high. Up here is a thick, up close candle. As soon as you close below it, it's the trigger. Right? And vice versa. You have a low, you stab into the old low. Over here you have a thick, down close candle, and you use that as the trigger. Right? Let's add some illustration. Right, like so. And vice versa. So this is, in plain English, in a nutshell, what the model is. Now, there are some nuances. For example, if model number one comes with an FVG, it becomes a higher probability trade. Right? If it comes at a certain time, it becomes a higher probability trade. And let's look at a live example of a bullish model number one and a bearish model number one. Because there is another element to model number one, which is the time frames. Right? This is a CRT model. It's not simply high candle close trade. No, it's a CRT based model. So we're going to look at this model from a multi-time frame perspective, meaning you're going to pair the monthly candles to a daily model number one. You're going to pair the weekly candles to a 4-hour model number one. You're going to pair the daily candles to a 1-hour model number one, right? And you can go further down the time frames, but that's not for the public mentorship, right? And it's not because I'm gatekeeping. It's simply because it's better for you as a new student, or even as some old students, to first practice and master these time frames before further going down in the lower time frames, right? It is essential for you to master the higher time frame before trying to become a hyper scalper taking 1,000 trades a day, right? Now, here you have a daily time frame, daily candle low, right there. And sure enough, if you go to the 1-hour time frame, you're going to wait for them to stab. And this is another difference between us as CRT traders and everyone else in general. Right? So we think about the market makers. We think about smart money and dumb money. We think as price is being pushed, it doesn't go down. Right? Notice the language I'm using. As price is being pushed down here, the market makers are profiting off this down movement, and they're wrecking all of dumb money all the way down, right? So dumb money is buying over here, getting stopped out, buying here, getting stopped out, buying here, getting stopped out, because they're taught, right, in the books, they're taught that old lows are support, right, support and resistance. But the market makers are going to smash through every support level until they reach an actual real support level, which is an old high or an old low, right? And then this one specific candle, it's not a zone, it's not a bunch of candles, it's one specific candle. We wait for them to close above this one specific candle, and as soon as they close above it, you notice that's the entry trigger. You enter, stop loss, target up here. It's that simple. Right, so you have entry, stop loss, and target the highs one by one. There are ways, yes, to narrow the stop loss. You can reach you can achieve monstrous risk to reward ratios in this game of trading. But for the sake of this public free teaching, right, I don't want to overdose you with information. The entry is going to be as soon as they close, that's the trigger, right? Entry is the high of model number 1, stop loss the low, and target the highs one by one. Now, example of bearish model number 1, old high, stab into the old high with a thick up close candle, right? You can use this one specific candle which they closed below. And here's an ideal situation which they also have an FVG with it, right? So if they have an FVG, a gap, and a model number 1, it becomes even higher probability, right? So a candle by itself is good, but a candle with an FVG is even higher probability, right? So here, low. This specific candle right here, paired to the FVG, is what caused price to go higher. All right? And with experience and time, you get better at selecting the candles. But follow the criteria. The one specific candle that stabbed into the old low or above the old high, use that one specific candle as the entry, stop loss, right? And target one by one. All right. And that is model number 1. It's important, it's crucial to wait for the close. Now, it might work without the close, but we're looking to trade, we as CRT traders, right? And you as my followers, my students, your job is not to trade every setup you take. Your job is to be extremely selective and participate only in the highest quality trades that are available in the markets. You can spend, I can spend, we can all spend all day long trading 1,000 trades a day. Right? That's not practical. That's not a long-term consistent approach. Be selective, pick good trades, and you will see your performance skyrocket. All right. Now, an important element which helps you avoid fake model number 1s is time. Because as I've always said before, as I say now, as I will always say, as will stand true for the rest of trading history, time is more important than price. Time is more important than price. If the time is right, the pattern will work. If the time is wrong, the pattern will fail. If the time is right, the pattern will work. If the time is wrong, the pattern will fail or not work as well. Now that's another section, which is time theory. But it's a simple, very basic concept of time theory is the time, the high and low of the weekly candle form. Right? So you have the weekly open, Monday midnight, and you have the weekly close, which is Friday, 5 p.m. All right? In crypto, just pick Monday to Friday. The high of the week is formed on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the opposing end of the range is capped on Thursday, Friday. All right, so you have price pumps up, creates a fake high on Monday, and this is the real sauce. If you're watching this far, this is the real sauce. This is the real, this is where you should be shifting your focus and paying more attention to. More than the threads and PDFs and comment in the section, and I'll DM you all that nonsense that's happening on Twitter right now, right? None of that matters. This is what matters. This is what you should be paying attention to if you want to make real money in trading, if you want to become a better trader, better analyst. This is it. They create a fake high on Monday. Everyone thinks it's the high. They even give you an FVG to fool all of the pattern traders and the dumb money which ICT actively creates every single day, every single week, intentionally, or not, I don't know. But does he create them? For sure. Fake high on Monday, and then a real high on Tuesday. Tuesday marks the high of the week. Model number 1 created. And then it dumps down. The market makers push price, viciously wrecking everyone until they reach that certain point in time, which is Thursday, Friday, cap of the week, remember? And price. So here is where time and price meets at this point. And when time and price meet, that's when the magic happens. Time and price meet, Thursday plus model number 1. Bet the house, get rich. Of course, controlling your risk. All right. I don't encourage gambling, and this is not financial advice. All right, this is simply educational information only. Excuse me. All right. Important, you have to wait for a close. Because usually what happens is sometimes they will wick above the candle and then dump lower. And then you come and blame me or the system. Never blame the system. The most successful traders, right, an attribute, I say this a lot, is one of the attributes of a successful trader is that they almost always blame themselves for their losses. They never blame the system. System is perfect. When I lose, yes, even I lose sometimes, right? When I lose, then I never blame the system. I blame myself. It's human error. System is perfect. The system is the market-making mechanism itself, right? And you're going to wait for an FVG ideally, right? There are some more nuances, but that pretty much wraps up part 1 of CRT secrets. Right, so we are multi-time frame traders. A higher time frame, key level, a higher time frame candle, lower time frame model number 1, with the time frames I told you, right? Which is monthly, daily, weekly 4 hour, daily 1 hour, for 15 minutes, and so on. I hope you found that insightful. There is an interesting event coming up this year after this series. Stay tuned for it. Hosted by me, of course. I hope you all found that insightful. Watch it once, watch it twice, watch it 3-4 times if you have to. Take your time. There's no rushing. Right? Don't compare yourself to anyone else. Don't feel, when you see people trading on social media or making money or living a certain lifestyle you want to live, don't be urged. Don't feel like you have to take 10,000 trades and make the money right now. No, take your time. The markets aren't going anywhere. Trading isn't going anywhere. Right? It's going to be here at least for the next 10, 20, 30 years. Right? So take your time. And the more time you take to learn properly, right? The more explosive the benefits you will gain and obtain will be afterwards. Right? It's like that saying of I think it was Abraham Lincoln, right? If you give me 7 hours to chop down a tree, then I'll spend the first 6 sharpening the axe. Right? So watch it once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 10 times. And every time you watch, you'll realize that you missed something in the previous one. And that's how you know you're actually paying attention and learning. All right, so pen in hand, pad in hand, happy studying. I wish you all good luck, good trading, and see you in part 2.